In this day and age, people seem to forget that the most basic human right of all is the right to believe.
Please don't breathe! Please don't breathe!
No prayers, no moments of silence, nothing.
Think of the other children out there who are subjected to their repressive belief system.
If we sit by and do nothing, the pressure that we're feeling today will mean persecution tomorrow. We're at war.
What makes nonviolence so radical is its unwavering commitment to a nonviolent approach.
Isn't that sort of like what Jesus meant when he said that we should love our enemies?
Yes, you have heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you.
One of your students sent a text to their parents. Did this happen?
If you're asking whether I responded to a student's question, yes.
And your answer incorporated the words of Jesus.
What were you thinking, Grace?
The Tholies are asking that you be fired, plus revocation of your teaching certificate.
How do we make this go away and not get blood on our hands?
We let the ACLU do it.
We're going to prove once and for all that God is dead.
No order in the matter of Thawley versus Wesley.
Mr. Kane will insist faith isn't on trial here. But that is exactly what is on trial.
You're looking to prove that Jesus Christ existed? Oh, that's ridiculous. I hate what people like your clients stand for and what they're doing to our society.
You're under arrest.
These people, they're looking to destroy you.
Everyone's telling me to stay out of it. What is your heart telling you to do?
I would rather stand with God and be judged by the world than stand with the world and be judged by God. I am not going to be afraid to say the name Jesus.
If we're going to insist that a Christian's right to believe is subordinate to all other rights, then it's not a right.
You are out of order. I charge you with contempt.
I accept the charge because I have nothing but contempt for these proceedings.
God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside, rolling like a lion. God's not dead, he's surely alive.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of any major corporation whatsoever.
Welcome to the Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is
Reverend Steve. I am the founder of the Church of Ed Wood, writer, statesman, father, bipolar, PTSD sufferer, cult leader, all-around nice guy. This is episode 175 of our podcast, which is quite impressive. And hey, so I broke one of my toes. Yay!
You did? Awesome. What happened?
I was just and my thinking.
You're breaking up a lot.
And I ran to the bathroom really quick.
I'm not hearing you, man.
Gotcha. Okay, now it's done.
What was that?
I don't know what that was.
That was the air conditioner.
Oh.
That's why we don't really use it.
Gotcha. That's crazy.
That's a bullshit air conditioner.
Yeah.
Well, they won't replace it.
God damn.
Really?
No.
That's bullshit.
We've been asking for like 3 years to replace the air conditioner.
I can come and kick them if you want.
Yes, please.
So that's an option.
Yeah, that's totally an option. I'll come out there and I'll threaten them.
Always go with a professional.
You should be able to send them an email or a phone, not a phone, like a letter stating that you want them to fix your air conditioner, and if they don't comply within so long, you'll take it out of or withhold your rent. I mean, I don't know. Colorado might be different, but
yeah,
you
don't know.
You have basic fucking laws, man. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Child, why are you like this? Why are you like this?
So, my wife and I, it was late, and my wife and I were drinking, and we were talking, and I ran to the bathroom really quick, and then I ran back out, but apparently when I was running out, I didn't gauge the distance between my body and the door frame of the bathroom, and it was some crazy random happenstance that as I was running out, my pinky toe on one of my feet just caught on the door frame.
Yeah.
And just made it bend in a way that it wasn't supposed to. And I believe that was last weekend, and I'm still walking with a limp, and it hurts like crazy. So that's fun.
Yeah,
so,
a cane would be good in a situation like this.
Yeah, a cane
or a child of the correct height. Maxwell looks like he would work.
Maxwell, or maybe I could just get a midget to lean on.
Which just makes me think, what the fuck was up with Pat Boone's walker?
Yeah, Pat Boone has seen better days.
Man.
Is he still alive? I also don't want to look it up at all. I don't want to put effort towards Pat Boone.
Well, if he's dead, he would have had to have died within, like, what? The last year and a half? Because this movie is not really old.
Yeah. Bunny.
Yes.
I wanted to start off this episode, this 175th episode of the Pope on Film, America's longest running podcast. In that, our podcast is just way too freaking long. Not that we've done the podcast for a long time.
Right.
We just have a very long fucking podcast, but that's beside the point. The point is that just because I'm being loud doesn't mean you guys can be loud to, like, combat me. Okay?
Be loud, go to your room and be loud, dude.
The point is, I want to start off this episode of the Pope on Film podcast by running through some small, odd bits of news. Bits of news that aren't entirely big enough for a full segment, but that I want to talk about anyway. I've got a few here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5. I've got a smattering of news. The Pope on Film presents.
Out of those, how many do you think I should have heard of?
Oh, I don't know if you have heard of any of these.
Okay.
I don't think. Maybe one, but I don't. Maybe 1 or 2, but I don't think you've heard of any of these. These ones are small bits of news, not major bits of news. So the Pope on Film once again presents the Pope on Film News Smatterings.
News Smatterings, yes.
Yes, so this first story is out of, obviously, Florida.
Yeah.
This is a Florida story. That's where all the crazy news happens. A 34-year-old man named Joseph Mantella was arrested at a park in Orlando a week or 2 ago. Apparently, he was practicing karate in the park.
Okay.
You know, like you like to do, you go to the park and practicing karate. Funny, yeah. I know you do that a lot.
Totally.
Go to the park and start working on your karate.
I mean, is that how he and Jeannie met?
Yeah, that's how he and Jeannie met. They were both in the park practicing karate.
Well, in particular, Tai Chi for for our inner being.
Gotcha.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mix that up.
Yeah, this guy was practicing fight style karate.
Uh-huh.
And he needed someone.
Did he have a Klingon batleth?
No, that's the thing. He needed someone or something to help him practice karate. He needed like a sparring partner or like a dummy to work with, and nothing was there to help him practice his karate. So what did he use? Well, he went through the park and looked to see if there was anything he could work with, and then he found it. Swans.
Swans. Okay.
Motherfucker was beating the shit out of swans at the park. Bruce Lee's Enter the Squawk over here. 134-year-old man and 100 swans in a hallway. Bruce Lee's Enter the Squawk.
Yeah.
Here's an actual quote from the article that I read this in. This is the quote. Quote, one witness said he kicked a swan in the backside as hard as possible and even kicked a sleeping baby duck. And I don't know why that's hilarious to me.
I have a question though.
Okay.
Did the geese like surround him and still yet only attack one at a time?
I don't know. But
they probably stood around him in a circle and patiently waited their turn to attack, just like they do in movies.
There was a circle of horrified onlookers.
Yeah.
And apparently this guy thought that the onlookers that were shocked and disgusted were hilarious, and so he would laugh and then continue to beat the shit out of all of these swans.
I have another question. When the geese honk, was it out of sync?
Good. I am honking at you. I cannot believe you are kicking us. We are going to fly away now. Flap, 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 flap.
Okay, see, now, Bunny, Maxwell Edward Glenn, get out! Sorry about that. Here's my thing. I firmly believe with all those people and witnesses, there has to be video of this somewhere. Steve says there's not. I believe that there is. We just haven't looked hard enough.
If there's no video, I would have to doubt the veracity of the story, I think, these days.
Right? Like, picture didn't happen, you know?
I would be filming that in a fucking second.
Well, it's Florida, so there's a good chance that there weren't any black people at this park.
Yeah.
If it happened in any other state, then there would be like one black person going, check this out, motherfucker is kicking swans. Get this. You know, there would be one good video.
That's true. Well, you never
So
know.
I don't know. But yeah, we'll have to look for Bruce Lee's Enter the Squawk on YouTube.
It's curious. It's very curious.
Here's
wait. One last question. One last question here. Because I think we all glossed right over it. Did he win?
I don't know. As far as I can tell from the article, the swans didn't defend themselves. The swans were taking off away from him.
Mike, where's the picture?
It's by the TV.
Why?
I think Maxwell put them there.
Why is the paper towel over here?
Here's another odd story. This happened a few weeks ago. A family in LA, in Los Angeles, learned why here in Oklahoma we have our bouncy houses indoors.
Okay.
Because at a birthday party at a house in Adelanto, California, there was a breeze, there was a wind gush that was so strong that a bouncy house at a birthday party in a backyard was swept up in the air and flew for miles with a 9-year-old boy inside of it.
You want to sit in the chair?
But
Really?
here's the best part. The bouncy house is airborne and it's flying in the sky with a 9-year-old boy inside. And then the bouncy house landed right in the middle of a busy California.
Sorry?
The bouncy house landed right in the middle of a busy California freeway.
No. Okay.
And the bouncy house was hit by a moving vehicle. Now there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that the 9-year-old boy survived with only minor injuries. That's good news.
Yes.
But here's the bad news. The bad news is that shit, if being in a bouncy house that suddenly flies into the sky, if that's not a way to be magically transported to a Sid and Marty Krofft television show, then how do you get magically transported into a Sid and Marty Krofft television world? That's what I want to know. Because that's how you get to Lidsville. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm totally digging on that.
Yeah.
Especially after the playlist, but we'll get there.
Yeah, no, we'll get there. I was shocked that show was Sid and Marty Krofft, but we'll get there.
I'm trying to get her to stop.
Here is another really odd story. This story shockingly did not happen in Florida. I was shocked to see that this did not happen in Florida. A 21-year-old man was kidnapped and tortured and held for ransom in Connecticut. The 21-year-old man who they haven't identified was bruised and beaten, and he had burns. He had scorch marks all over his body that police say were caused by a lighter. That apparently he was tied to a chair, and then he was untied to the chair and thrown on a bed, and they were just burning his body with a lighter. He was just burning his body in the light. There was only one kidnapper.
Okay.
But here's the best part. The kidnapper was a 30-year-old man named Isaias Garcia. Isaias, not Isaiah.
Yeah.
Apparently it's two of this one guy, so Isaias.
Was he
Garcia.
a doctor?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this. Isaias Garcia kept his victim in place because he also had with him a fucking alligator. A big ass fucking alligator. So the victim was being held for ransom, and if the family didn't pay, then the victim was going to be fed to the alligator.
And if I put her in the chair, she'll make your dad.
So all of this was discovered. This entire story was discovered. They finally found the kidnapper, because the victim was left alone in the hotel room for a while with the alligator, and then he managed to find a cell phone in the hotel room, made a call, and that's how authorities traced the call and found Isaias Garcia and the victim and the alligator in a hotel room in Shelton, Connecticut.
Okay.
One last bit of
I have some questions on this one too.
I know, but I'm still not done with the details.
Oh, okay, sorry, go ahead.
Isaias Garcia and the man-eating alligator, they were asking for how much ransom do you think they were asking for?
$538.76.
Okay, here's the thing. You're close. They were asking for $800.
Okay.
So I have a few questions and maybe some design notes. First off, bro.
Yeah.
I don't mean to tell you how to kidnap. So what, you telling me how to kidnap now? I'm gonna cut you. But Isaias Garcia needs to value his time more.
Yes.
He needs to value himself, value his work, value what he does. When Natasha and I were trying to figure out how much I should charge for my story time, I was like, I don't want to cost that much. Maybe, I don't know, $50, $75. And Natasha's like, it has me by the shoulders, and she's just looking at me and she's like, value your time. value yourself. You are worth money. You are worth things. And I kind of want to do this to the kidnapper.
Yeah.
Like what? Only $800? Come on, you got an alligator. You put in the time and the effort. Value your.
Yeah. I am wondering if after he checked into the hotel, did the valet have to carry the alligator up to the room?
Yeah, that's another thing. Worst hotel employees ever.
Yeah.
If you're allowed to bring an alligator in there.
What was this not? Maybe it's a very alligator friendly hotel. Maybe they found their niche. And they're
that's why I'm shocked that this didn't happen in Florida.
Yeah.
Like when you say, "Oh, he had an alligator," he was in a hotel room with an alligator in Florida. That's when you go, "Oh, okay." But no, he was in Connecticut with an alligator.
Yeah. There's not much swampland in Connecticut.
And also $800, that will barely cover your hotel room expenses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm shocked.
So even if he gets the money, this kidnapper is going to be operating at a loss.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to give like a how to kidnap TED talk. For this guy. So for this next story, I'm going to be talking just a little bit about my 12-year-old daughter, Isabella.
Okay.
I'll murder you.
Her school is constantly fundraising, which shouldn't be surprising because we live in Oklahoma and there's no money for anything. There's just no money for anything anywhere. And the last fundraising thing that Bella's school
your teachers are being whining babies. Remember that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why can't they just say thank you and go back to work?
Yeah.
The last fundraising thing that Bella did was from a knife company.
Okay.
It was from a knife company. Sure.
Don't let anybody touch this stuff. I'm gonna go put the baby down for a nap.
Okay. Sure, there were multiple kitchen utensils and items that were also available in the catalog, but mostly knives. Big ass, sharp fucking knives. But in Bella's class, 7th grade, the kids weren't allowed to sell any knives to anyone under 18 years of age. Now, yeah, they couldn't sell them, period, to anyone.
Yeah.
Because the kids were underage. And what I'm thinking is maybe Bella's school should go talk to the 3rd graders in the town of Neosho, Missouri.
Okay, what are they selling?
Neosho, Missouri, a youth baseball team for kids 9 years old and younger. Some of them like 6 years old, 5 years old, 4-year-old, 3-year-old kids are doing fundraising right now, and they're selling tickets to a raffle where the winner gets a free AR-15 rifle.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, great timing, you fuckballs.
Well, the protest that I had gone to the other weekend was because the GOP itself was raffling off 2 AR-15s.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about you, but that's a big middle finger, don't you think?
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
That's a big fuck you people.
Yeah. The coach of this youth baseball team, the coach considered raffling off something else after whenever the last school shooting happened, because they're happening all the time now.
Yeah.
But the coach, Mr. Levi, I'm a douchebag Patterson, said that he ultimately decided to continue on with the raffle and, quote, turn it into a positive thing after, quote, getting the hate. So yeah, that's also a big middle finger.
Yeah. Man, it's noisy here today. Sorry about that.
What was that?
That was my phone.
Church bells? Oh, it was your phone. Okay. That was weird. And finally, Bonnie, I have some super great fucking news for you. I know you'll be excited. There's a new doomsday prediction.
Oh, yeah?
So this prediction comes from noted biblical numerologist David Mead.
Yeah.
And he's predicted a number of biblical prophecies that the world was going to end. Last year, he predicted that the world was going to end on April 23rd of 2018. Now, a lot of people predict the end of the world, but David Mead's predictions always have some pizzazz to them.
Yeah, okay.
For example, he predicted that on April 23rd of 2018, the world was going to end because a mysterious alien planet named Nibiru was going to collide with Earth.
Yeah.
And shocker of shockers, David Mead's Bible prophecy was wrongzo. That was a big shocker there.
Yeah.
Well, now
see,
David Mead is...
okay. Here's what I don't get, okay? Here's what I don't get. Why are they so concerned about this mysterious planet Nibiru, okay, of which, like all conspiracy claims, they have no proof, they have no evidence, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. When there's a perfectly good asteroid named Apophis that is literally heading for us. Okay, I mean, there's real shit going on. Have fun with that.
David Mead has proof. It's called Bible math.
It's called Bible math. Okay.
Bible math. So
if Johnny has 3 foreskins and Susie has 2, how many foreskins do they have all together? And what was God's fucking foreskin fetish?
Why
did David have to go and collect 200 foreskins?
That's a lot of foreskins.
Yeah.
While I'm doing this podcast, maybe later you can do this with him. You guys can do that together, build it and all that. Good.
You know, I mean, you know, he got them from their enemies, but you know what? Maybe if you didn't cut off foreskins, you'd have fewer enemies.
Yeah.
So
David
cutting
Mead
out those
is a brand new prediction after April 23rd.
Hold on. Jeannie's got.
I was gonna say, so is cutting off those foreskins, is that akin to like scalping? Scalping?
I would guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do it like as
imagine.
revenge, like I hate you, so I'm gonna take your foreskin.
I think it would have made Inglourious Bastards a little more interesting.
Sure not.
Right?
I want 100 Nazi foreskins.
Yeah.
And I want skins. So David Mead said, "Oh, the world is ending on April 23rd, 2018, and then April 23rd, 2018 came and went. So then David Mead went back to the Bible and crunched the numbers. And now he's back with an updated new prediction. And this time it definitely has his trademark. David Mead pizzazz. So according to David Mead's... My mouse just died. There you go. According to David Mead's new Bible prophecy, this one's a weird one. So the rapture is going to take place. He's a bit vague this time. The rapture is going to take place at some point this year between May and December.
Yeah.
So all the Christians are
December. That's a wide-ass gap he's given himself. I think I got to call shenanigans on that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's not all. But that's not all. So the rapture is going to take place. The rapture is going to take place at some time between May and December of this year. And then after that, there will be 7 years of tribulation, followed by 1,000 years of peace and prosperity, and then the world's going to end.
Basically, right. Basically, that's how it goes in the Bible.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Number one, nice vague timeline, David Mead. Number two, so you're telling me we're going to get 1,000 years of peace and prosperity without Christians?
Yeah, good point.
I'm pretty excited for the end of the world now. You know, sure, we're going to have to go through 7 years of crap, but, you know, if Trump has his way, we're already going to go through 8 years of crap, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm excited for, 1,000 years of peace and prosperity without evangelical Christians yelling down my throat about everything. I'm kind of excited about that. I think that'll be sweet.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, that is it for the Pope on Film presents News Smatterings this time around. Be sure and join us next time, whenever that is, whenever I find things that are funny. And cut on that. Bunny!
Yes.
But, Bunny, my friend, let's talk about Netflix.
Okay.
The streaming service Netflix is currently busy spending billions and billions of dollars in a fairly sad attempt to have so much original content that no one notices that they're slowly but surely losing less outside movies and TV shows. This actually pisses me off. These bitches think that they can compensate for less Disney movies and no more Bob's Burgers by giving us more episodes of The Ranch and Adam Sandler movies. Boo!
Well, I've been pissed off at that for a really long time now. I mean, they were the replacement for Blockbuster, and now they've put Blockbuster out of business, and now they're not giving us movies. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You were the alternative, and now you're what? CBS now?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit upset at Netflix, and yet, nevertheless, I fully support Netflix right now, whether I want to or not. I have to, and we all have to, because Netflix is under attack. By who, you might ask? By this podcast's arch nemesis. And no, I am not referring to director Michael Bay, but now that you mention it, fuck Michael Bay, he's ruining movies. No. Netflix is under attack by evangelical Christians.
Okay.
So Christians are boycotting Netflix for two ridiculously stupid reasons. The first reason is due to the Netflix original teen television show entitled 13 Reasons Why Teen Suicide is like totally awesome.
Right.
I'm sorry, I have so much hate for that.
Apparently, a depressed 14-year-old girl named Anna Bright watched the show 13 Reasons Why, and then shortly afterwards she killed herself. Now, suicide and depression are complicated things. It's next to impossible to pinpoint exactly why someone would commit suicide. There's usually a multitude of reasons. It's not a straight line. You can't just connect dot A and dot B and then you go, this is exactly the reason why someone killed himself. It's 13 reasons why, not one reason why.
Yeah.
That would be a short TV show and a short book. These things are complicated, There's usually a multitude of reasons why and not one specific reason why. So Anna Bright committed suicide, very sad. Then her fundamentalist evangelical Christian parents are sad and they're looking for answers. And what do they see? They see that Anna Bright recently watched the Netflix original show 13 Reasons Why, and the parents are literally saying, there it is. This is the one reason why our daughter killed herself. The only reason why our daughter killed herself is because she watched this liberal TV show.
Well, because you know, they have to say, "Oh no, we've had a great relationship with our daughter. We talked all the time. Everything was great. If she had any problems, she would have told us because we're all open like that. You know, she wouldn't hold any secrets. Like, so it must be that TV show."
Yeah. Yeah. So now the parents are literally saying, let's just wildly correlate these two things with no proof and say that, yeah, Netflix killed our daughter.
Yeah.
And fundamentalist Christians love to blame people for shit with no proof. So now Christians are signing petitions and urging all good Christians to cancel their Netflix subscription. First off, I'm really excited that Christians are boycotting Netflix. Man, I guess Netflix is going out of business because, 2 years ago, the same people started a boycott of Target, and look how successful that was.
Yes.
There's no Targets around anymore. They're all closed down and no one shops there.
They ruined the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
Ruined it.
And also,
because Rogue One was too political for them.
Yeah. And also, if you solely blame a crappy television show for your child's suicide, you did not know your child.
No.
At all.
No, not at all.
So Christians so they're trying to boycott Netflix and all that, and they're not being that successful, right? And the Christians who are trying to get people to sign signatures and get people to start boycotting Netflix, the Christians are like, man, we're trying so hard, but we're just not being that successful. Man, if only there was a way that we could have our Netflix boycott be really successful. Man. Well, like when a celebrity gets some rare disease and they become a spokesperson.
Yeah.
Well, a few days ago, the hashtag boycott Netflix crowd got a big endorsee.
Uh-oh. Was it Fabio?
No, because Netflix recently announced a multi-year big money deal with the Obama family.
Oh, yeah.
Now this is the Christian smoking gun. We need to boycott Netflix because they have a TV show that killed a girl. Man, how can we convince these white Christians to stop watching Netflix? And then Obama comes along. I have signed a deal with Netflix, and oh my God, white Bible thumpers haven't been this upset since their favorite elliptical machine at the gym was already taken by a black fellow. So yeah, now it's picking up steam and angry white people are bye Netflix. I guess I'll just go to Hulu.
Yeah. Why don't they shoot them like that? The coolers that they were shooting a few months ago.
Yeah, the Yeti coolers.
The Yeti, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But yeah, fucking ridiculous. So now, I was upset with Netflix, but unfortunately, I have to support Netflix now.
No, I don't.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Whether I want to or not. Because I got to defend them against these freaking Bible thumpers. So, super excited for that. Yay. This is like when you had to defend Bill Clinton's name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bill Clinton had sex in the Oval Office. He's a horrible person. And then you're like, kind of? Yes? No? So yay, excited about that. So yeah, boycott Netflix if you're white. I don't know. I don't have an ending for this, but 13 Reasons Why didn't kill a little girl. And
No.
Netflix is signing everyone. So the fact that they signed the Obamas isn't the goddamn end of the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They also carry God's Not Dead, so it's not like this is the evil liberal corporation that Christians make Netflix out to be now.
They also have Christian Mingle and a lot of other
Yeah.
Christian fare.
Yeah. But they're like, oh no, Netflix has become too liberal and too political. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not every entity has a political affiliation. There's an animal hospital here in my tiny small town, the Shawnee Animal Hospital, and it has one of those like digital signs that's supposed to say like when they open and things like that. But instead, the Shawnee Animal Hospital's digital sign is it's just all pro-Republican, anti-liberal nonsense.
It's great. I love it. It makes no
And
sense
it's like
to me.
welcome to the Shawnee Animal Hospital. Well, the dumb liberals are at it again. And it's like, motherfucker, I don't need to know what a building would vote for. Oh, I'm gonna go get a tan. But wait, we need to know the political affiliation of this tanning salon.
Can't go. They support Donald Trump.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So we never go to the Shawnee Animal Hospital, and a lot of people are pissed about it in town. So that's fun. So that's all I got on Netflix. I hate Netflix.
Is the animal hospital getting protested and stuff? That would be cool.
People are. It's not getting protested, but people are upset with the Shawnee Animal Hospital. I've seen an article or two about the Shawnee Animal Hospital, but the owner of the Shawnee Animal Hospital is like, well, I'm a proud Republican and I'm not changing a thing.
Okay. Only get Republican business then.
Yeah. Yeah, have fun with that. Oh, yeah. I love that picture. And finally, Bunny, before we finish, I'd hate to focus on this. I'm sorry that I keep bringing this up because I'm really, Bella, that was the loudest chair in the world. Thank you for that. I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to not focus on the negative. But I'm sorry. I'm still really, upset with episode 173, the experimental, low-budget, artistic, psychedelic, sci-fi, romance, art house, supernatural drama fuckfest.
Yes.
Known as 2017's A Ghost Story.
Yes.
Fuck that movie. Fuck it. Fuck that movie so hard. That was so bad. That movie sucked so hard. It was so bad that I just can't get over it. Jesus fucking Christ. Who hurt you, Casey Affleck?
Just pretentious as shit, man. That's what I hated.
Yeah. And I can't get this film. I can't get this shitty movie out of my head. Seriously, it's just haunting me. So, here's my idea. Right here on the podcast, I got a piece of paper. I've got I got a pen here. So this is what I'm going to do. Right here, live on the podcast, I am going to write a letter to the filmmakers. Demanding, well, I'll figure it out. I'm going to write it right now. So let me, okay. So let me get this paper all set up. Okay, there you go. So let's see. Okay, I'm writing.
Okay.
Dear filmmakers. Oh, wait. I shouldn't say dear because, I'm not in love with these guys. I should write something harsher. You bastard filmmakers. Okay, wait. Now that's kind of harsh. So here, let me cross that out. Let me split the difference. Okay. Darling filmmakers. Okay, that's good. I like that. Darling filmmakers. Okay. Now what do I want from them? I guess I paid money for this film and it was a crappy film. Okay. Give me my money back. Just give us our money. That's good. But also I hate these guys, so I'll comma, you bastards. Okay. So let me read this. Darling filmmakers, give us our money, you bastards. Now, how should I end this? I know. Boom Shanka.
Boom Shanka.
You know what that means? Boom Shanka means, may the seed of your loin be fruitful in the belly of your woman. So, Boom Shanka Steve. Okay, so let me read this. Darling filmmakers, give us our money, you bastards. Boom Shanka. You know what? I'm going to cross out the Boom Shanka because they won't know it. I'll just have to spell it out. So, may the seed of your loin be fruitful in the belly of your woman. Steve. Okay, so hold on. Let me read this. Darling filmmakers, give us our money, you bastards. May the seed of your loin be fruitful in the belly of your woman, Steve. Well, if that doesn't get us our money back, I don't know what will.
It's very, very touching.
Thank you. I'm proud of it. It's about time we stood up and said, "Hey, what a wonderful kind of day."
Take this shit over to your fag art houses. Okay? That's what we say.
Yeah. So I'm proud of that letter. If you could stop clicking that pen, Noah, I would appreciate it because the microphone just picks up everything. Okay? So if you could not do that, I would appreciate that. So we still have a big show to go here. We have to talk about a fake death. We need to talk about what's the name of that place that I hate? Home Depot. We need to talk about my childhood. That's going to be painful. We need to talk about Blue's Clues and Cousin Oliver.
Cousin Oliver.
We need to talk about Cousin Oliver. We need to talk about John Kay, the creator of Ren and Stimpy. We need to talk about Sid and Marty Krofft. Jesus Christ. We need to talk about sequels, and we need to talk about churches, and we need to talk about Christian porn.
Are we going to be going into a little bit of detail concerning one Ralph Bakshi?
Yeah, a little bit. A very little bit, but yes.
Okay.
But before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break? We
should take a break.
I concur. We will be right back with... If you're going to say it, then come over here and say it, Maxwell. Don't yell it from across the room while jumping up and down on the couch you shouldn't be jumping up and down on. If you're going to take us to a break, come over here and do it like a man, Maxwell.
Okay.
Right over here. Get closer. There you go. Go for it.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages. Do 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 tick tock tick tock tick tock.
Nice. That was good. Okay.
Hi, boys and girls. Bob is going to the prom. Rob has a date and everything. Oh, he is just so dreamy. Open the door for your mystery date.
I'm pretty sure that she's TV's Frank in drag.
Gandhi He said that whatever you do in life will be insignificant, but it's very important that you do it because nobody else will.
Officer, those two were just trying to stop it.
Go home. Hey, don't.
You could do worse than have a father who bails you out of jail.
I don't want to be bailed out of anything.
He has got a daughter.
Who's got a daughter?
The cop that busted your face all up. He's got a daughter. Go get her.
This is one of those things that I'm already regretting.
I don't date sociology majors.
Lucky for you, I'm undecided.
About what?
Everything. Someone comes into your life, and half of you says, danger, stay in your cave, you're nowhere near ready.
What desserts do you have? I have my dessert first. What if I die eating my vindaloo?
Is that probable?
It's possible.
And the other half says, go get her immediately.
What is that?
This is our appetizer.
She's supposed to be back. She's not back.
What am I now, one of your suspects?
You act like one.
My dad needs to take care of people. He just doesn't know what's going on right now.
What's going on right now?
Look, you have to tell her eventually.
I can feel it in my bones. She's gonna be devastated.
You think I don't remember you? Where is my daughter? Does she know?
You lied to me.
I didn't mean to hurt you.
That's exactly what you meant to do.
You don't have to forgive him today. Just forgive him.
Someone's been trying to tell me, make her yours forever. And I'm working on the forever part.
And we're back with more of the Pope on film. Bunny!
Yes.
If you are a longtime listener of this podcast, then you no doubt know two important things about me. Number one, of course, my undying love of traditional Japanese kabuki theater. Constantly going off about that. And two, that I am a lover, nay, a connoisseur of history.
Yes.
I am a regular historicatron, which is a technical term that only us historicatrons use. But I'm also a storyteller with my own unique style, and so what I like to do is I like to get a story from the history books and sort of rework it into my own unique voice. And that is what this is, another installment of our long-running series known as Steve's Historical Approximations, or SHAP, as I like to annoyingly call it.
Yes.
Constantly all the time, screaming it from the rafters, whether anyone wants to hear it or not. SHAP, it's taking over the nation. Hashtag SHAP, people. Let's get this thing trending. Let's do it. So this week's story is about how a famous inventor's fake death led to the creation of a legendary award.
Okay.
It's a story deeply rooted in history, which is what I wanted, because the last time we did SHAP, we did a story from my childhood, which I comically tried to disguise as an important moment in history, and it was good, and I liked it, and I thought it was funny. It just didn't completely fit with our usual Steve's Historical Approximations. It's kind of like the Simpsons Halloween special.
I think we could squeeze through a court case if you don't keep explaining it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just trying to fix things here. You know, just trying to make sure everything's fixed.
Yeah. So that was our last SHAP, and so this week it's back to the old history books. We are going old school this time around. Very excited about this story. This story just came out so good. At first I had a tiny little story, and then I delved more deeply, and it became bigger and bigger and bigger. So this week we're talking about Alfred Nobel.
Okay.
Basically, his name is Alfred Nobel. What a great name.
Yeah.
Alfred Nobel. With a name like that, you kind of have to grow up being a bit of a dick, right?
Yes.
Like Philip Douchebag or John Vagina Sniffer. You know, sometimes your name dictates what your life is going to be like.
Yeah, he's the kind of person that somewhere around the age of 13 uttered the phrase of, "But father, there will not be anybody left to oppress."
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just like, and being really upset with it.
Yeah, at some point in his life, he definitely owned a pony.
Yes.
Anyways, Alfred Nobel was Swedish, right? He was born in 1833 to a not so successful inventor and engineer. Alfred Nobel was one of 8 kids, and they were all starving because, again, Alfred Nobel's dad wasn't a success, and also it's 1833 and he has 8 kids,
Yeah.
so all the kids were born starving. So much so that out of the 8 kids, maybe about half of them got to be adults.
Well, that's not
So
bad.
a lot of them,
4 kids.
yes,
That's still a lot of fucking kids.
yeah, yeah. But so a lot of these kids died. Now here's where I kind of stray from history, because in the history books they don't say that the Nobel family ate the weaker kids. But the history books also don't say that they didn't.
No.
So I guess Alfred Nobel dash cannibal question mark. You know, if anything, I can just trump it. You know, a lot of people are saying that Alfred Nobel ate his children. A lot of people are saying that. I hear a lot of people talking about this online. So the family was so poor that the dad, whose name was Emmanuel Nobel, wannabe inventor, wannabe engineer, he one day was just, fuck this shit, I'm out, and he just took off. And he's like, hey, I gotta go and find a job, any job, anywhere, somewhere. We need money, so I guess I'm just off. So he left, and he eventually found himself in St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
So he went from Sweden to St. Petersburg, where he eventually got a job with a tool manufacturing company. And there, while working at the tool manufacturing company, he invented, get this, Emmanuel Nobel invented fucking plywood.
Really? Nice. Okay.
Yeah. He's just working, and he's like, oh shit, I invented a wood. Yes, I foresee a day in the future where my invention, plywood, will fill Home Depot stores.
I personally do not understand why we are not building homes out of plastic these days. Like all the plastic that we're putting into landfills and everything, like you can make plastic flame retardant. You can make homes that will not burn down. You know?
Yeah.
And we would solve the whole ecology problem by just taking all that shit that gets thrown out and building homes out of it.
That's an excellent point.
You know,
we have all this shit.
Yeah, and they would be modular, and they could be put together like about as easily as Legos. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like IKEA could sell homes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You would get a little Allen wrench to put your home together.
Yeah.
But you can have a wall that's all one solid piece and all molded and it all laid out where the nut and bolt goes, and you use your Allen wrench and tighten it up, and you got a house.
Yeah. I do like those occasional stories here about, you know, various companies that are able to 3D print a house.
Yeah.
I like that. I hope that turns into a thing. So yeah, Emmanuel Noble invented plywood. I foresee a day in the future where my invention will fill Home Depot stores. The strange stink of plywood will assault your nostrils once you enter.
Yeah.
And the stores will be so full of my new invention that the store will be ridiculously huge. People will be lost. Couples will spend entire weekends in that infernal store.
Yes.
That's 115% true fake quote right there.
You would have to bring your Sherpa because you can't find anybody who actually works there.
Yeah. So suddenly the Nobel family is crazy rich.
Yeah.
And suddenly they have a shit ton of money.
Because of the
So
plywood,
now,
they got crazy rich off of the plywood?
Yeah. So out of nowhere they're like, "Oh no, we might be homeless. We can't afford to feed you children." And oh shit. Yeah, I guess we're going to turn you poor emaciated kids into pompous ruffle-wearing fancy lads now. Come on, kids. You kids are all fancy boys now. Here, Alfred Nobel, here's a tutor. Here, go to France and learn. You're a fancy lad now.
Yeah.
So Alfred Noble grows up to be a chemist and a businessman and inventor, just like his pop. You know, I am in business. I am a businessman. I'm inventing things, and I'm so proud. And he's successful, and he's making money. So good for Alfred Nobel. Yes, good for him. Yeah, but Alfred Nobel doesn't want to just be successful. Oh no, my friend. He's already successful. See, his daddy-o, Emmanuel Nobel, he invented frickin' plywood, and that shit done changed the game, son. That shit done changed the game. So Alfred Nobel wants to do that too. So cut to laboratory montage.
Yes,
Things bubbling and test tubes and beakers and late night sweating.
And he lifts up a beaker to the light and stares at it really, really seriously. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We need that shot.
Yeah, there's a calendar and pages are flying off of the calendar, and then Alfred Nobel's asleep with a beaker in his hand, and then he wakes up. And maybe like there's an 80s song playing. Maybe we could rewrite it for the situation. So, you're the best inventor around. Nothing's gonna ever invent you down.
Well, but there's also got to be that shot of like pure frustration. So he's like with his beakers and everything, and you know the good elaborate sets where the liquid is going through coils, and it's like Mousetrap with fluids. And he's just looking at it and staring at it, and all of a sudden he just bangs his hands on the desk.
Yeah, and then also because this is a montage, we may have to add in a can of talking mixed vegetables.
Yes, but the can of mixed vegetables at first is really, really sick. And it's also really, really shy, so it doesn't talk that much. It just doesn't have much energy. And, he keeps contemplating the can of mixed vegetables, and he gives it an injection right into the lid. He gives it an injection. And, we keep getting cutbacks to the can of mixed vegetables until, the final scene. The can of mixed vegetables has more vibrant color.
Yeah.
Like maybe we do that thing where everything is in color, but the mixed vegetables is black and white. And now it becomes color, and it worked. Whatever he was working on, it worked. And the can of mixed vegetables, it's now healed. And they hold it and they pass it around and they rub its little ribbing on the side, like it was a puppy that they just saved.
I turned it up a little bit. And then finally, we get the moment. Eureka!
Yes.
I've done it. I, Alfred Nobel, have invented something that will change the world. I call it Boomy sticks. No, that's not good. What should I call it? Oh, dinner mints. Okay, close.
Yeah.
Ah, there it is. Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Yeah, Alfred Nobel invented fucking dynamite.
Nice. Okay. To blow up the plywood. It was a very passive aggressive invention.
Yeah. Emmanuel Nobel invented a new kind of wood, and then his son invented a new and deadlier kind of explosion.
Yeah. You know the first thing he did with that, once he had figured out how to make dynamite, the first thing he did, right?
Figured out how to have sex with it?
No, he blew up the toilets in his high school.
Yeah, there you go. Who's the loser now, Dad? My invention can blow up your invention, Dad.
Man, the first thought that went through my head was Eric Trump.
Yeah. So cut to a number of years later. Alfred Nobel is super crazy fucking rich off of his invention, dynamite. Alfred Nobel's in his mid-50s now, super famous. And so, his late 50s, Alfred Nobel's younger brother, Ludwig Nobel, dies. Okay?
I don't think I believe any of that.
Yeah, so Ludwig Nobel dies. Who knows how he dies? Let's say he was run over by a camel. It doesn't really matter. The point is Ludwig Nobel dies. But see, it's 1888 and there's no internet yet. So Ludwig Nobel dies, but a number of major newspapers fuck up and think, "Oh my God, Ludwig Nobel died? That's the inventor of dynamite."
Okay, wait. Did they accidentally print in the newspaper a picture of Glenn Strange?
No. But the younger brother died, and a shit ton of newspapers across the world thought that it was Alfred Nobel who died.
Uh-huh.
And so, so all the newspapers are like, "Oh, Ludwig Nobel just died, the inventor of dynamite. Don't worry, we'll be writing a huge article about his life and achievements soon." And Alfred Nobel's people, his peeps, are like, "Hey, Alfred?" Well, no. "Hey, Alfie?" Because they're tight, they're his homies. So, "Hey, Alfie, should we, tell him you're not dead and shit? Should we send him a letter? I don't know, telegram? Smoke signals, whatever." And Alfred Nobel's like, "Hell no, bitches. This is my chance to see what people think of me." No doubt these journalists are right now in their mansion writing the articles. "Alfred Nobel, the brave and humble inventor of dynamite, which made the world better, and now he's dead, and God will miss him. He had such a big penis." So the newspapers write their articles, and the newspapers did run fucking mistaken obituaries for Alfred Nobel. They were not nice.
No.
Yeah. All the articles were all Alfred Nobel, the fucking asshat who invented dynamite, killing so many people because it's dangerous, because it was just invented, because it's fucking dynamite. Alfred Nobel may burn in fucking hell for that. So many dead. Now he's dead. What an asshole that guy was, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the reviews of Alfred Nobel's life were not so good. One newspaper literally called him, Alfred Nobel, the inventor of death. So that stunned the very much alive Alfred Nobel, and he thought, "Oh man, I thought people would fucking love me for my invention," but Alfred Nobel's fake news death showed him that people hated him, and that caused him to go into crisis mode. Like, guys, come on, we got to turn this around, okay? Because we got to make people love me. Because guys, people hate me. People actually hate me. So what can we do? We got to turn this around, okay? So that when people think of my name, they think of good things. They think of happiness. They think of whatever the opposite of death is. So what can we do that when people think of Nobel, they think of peace? There's got to be a way to make people think of Nobel peace. But how? How do we do it? Let's think here. Nobel peace. There's got to be something. There's got to be something. What if we give out a gift certificate to Arby's? No, that won't work. But I don't know. There's got to be something. We got to make people think of my name and be a good thing, you know. So what? And then one of his homies is like, "Hey, Alfie. Hey, Alf."
Yeah.
For short. They no doubt called him, "Hey, Alf. Hear me out here. Crazy idea, weird pitch, but what if we gave out a prize?" So he got a ton of his fucking money that he made from Dynamite and gave it to a university, and the university started the Nobel Prize. And that is how Alfred Nobel invented the Nobel Prize and the Nobel Peace Prize and the Nobel Prize for Literature. The Nobel Prize only existed because the inventor of dynamite tried to change his image.
An egomaniac, basically.
Yeah.
His image, total narcissist. His image is all that's really important, regardless of what he had did and the lives that it took. Because it's his face on the actual award too. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
You know, if Oscar had an actual face, and I'm kind of thinking Jack Klugman, you know.
Yeah.
That would really be weird if the award was then called the Jack Klugman Award.
For acting, yeah.
Yeah.
The Cluggy.
The Cluggy.
Who's gonna bring home the Cluggy for acting?
But since we had just a small little news smattering, something that will be historic sooner or later. Did you hear the latest about Eric Trump? Since he kind of came up a little. Oh, Eric Trump now insists that everybody calls him Syndrome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Syndrome. I am Syndrome.
Yeah, he's got the outfit. He's got the little mask and everything. He's running around the White House. They're trying to keep photographers away from him.
Hey, come on, Eric. No, do not call me by that name. That ship has sailed. I'm Syndrome now. You son of a gun, you got me monologuing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is too good. Anyway, that is it for Steve's Historical Approximations this week, for SHAP this week. And we sincerely hope that you all enjoyed getting your goddamn learn on. Next week is another one I'm very excited about. Next week, we will be discussing one of the world's richest men and how he got his fortune via a heavy metal band and a very popular TV sitcom. This is an important story.
Some other truckers.
People need to know this.
A heavy metal band and
a very popular TV sitcom. One of the richest men on the planet got his money through a heavy metal band and a ridiculously popular TV sitcom. This is an important story that everyone needs to know.
I am intrigued.
Yeah. So that is next week. So be sure and join us next week for another Steve's Historical Approximations. And cut on that. So we're cut.
We are cut.
We are cut. Okay, it's Elon Musk. We'll get to that next week.
Oh, okay.
The way he first got his money is the most ridiculous fucking story in the world, and people need to know this. But don't put that in, because I want it to be a surprise.
Yeah.
What? What did you say? I was talking about Elon Musk. Okay. That's weird, Bella.
Elon Musk for men.
Yeah. Hey, Bunny, guess what?
What?
No, you have to actually guess.
When you were in school and you kind of reached under the desk for some reason, and you kind of felt around under there, and you just felt something squishy, and you started to feel like a little. So you tried not to think about it, or you tried to imagine that that the gushiness was maybe something really not completely disgusting, but you couldn't help thinking about what it really was until you ran into the corner of the classroom and puked, and for the rest of your school life, the kids called you pukey because of it. Yeah, that's my guess.
You're close. But actually, I'm glad that you brought up school because I actually wanted to tell you a little story real quick that you may have heard before. It's a bit of a school story. It's a story that they teach you, when you're in school growing up.
Yeah.
And it goes like this, okay? So 10. Okay?
10.
10.
Yeah.
10 little monkeys, and they're jumping on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So one fell off.
Ooh.
Right?
What happened?
He bumped his head.
Did he get hurt?
But here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part. So the mama monkey called the doctor, right? And the doctor said,
Mr. MD.
Yeah. And the doctor said, "I'm terribly sorry, Mama Monkey, but our records indicate that you do not have any valid health insurance. So unfortunately, we can no longer give you and your monkey's care. Again, we apologize for the inconvenience." So that first little monkey who bumped his bump got infected without treatment, and the infection spread to his nervous system, and he went blind. And all the other monkeys, they died.
Yeah.
They died. There is a house full of dead monkeys, and the doctor didn't even lose a single night's sleep because of our country's system of healthcare. It is broken, buddy. It is broken and corrupt, and monkeys are dying because of it. It is disgusting. How many more monkeys need to die because of our health system, buddy? How many more monkeys need to die? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just came out of a blackout. I have no idea where I am and why I'm not wearing a shirt. Hold on. I'm gonna put this shirt on really quick. This is a real wake up call for me. I really need to get some help. Okay, so where was I?
Monkeys,
yes.
dead monkeys.
Dead monkeys. It's homework time yet again on the old Pope on Film podcast. People of the internet, your attention, please. Cease your condom snorting and kindly pay attention. Each week, the dreaded Council of Trumps descends from their silvery floating citadel in the sky and selects a homework assignment for this podcast via the fiery ritual of carousel. And this week we are painfully cringing at my own childhood with a YouTube playlist simply titled My Childhood.
Yes, which made it really easy to find.
Now, it was in my playlists.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just search my childhood. You'll be there for like a bajillion years. Now, I know what my kids like.
Yeah.
I know what they liked growing up. I know what they like now. Emerald is really into the show We Bear Bears a lot right now, and that's adorable. And both Emerald and Bella love the show Steven Universe. But they don't watch it as much now, although Emerald still loves the show because it's a very LGBTQ plus friendly animated kid show, which is wonderful that I'm even allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bella and Maxwell are really into the DuckTales reboot, which is amazing, by the way.
Really?
They rebooted DuckTales, and it's fucking great. There's a lot of reasons to like this show, the way that they do the characterization and the fact that there's plots and mysteries that aren't just in one episode, but that stretch throughout the entire series so far.
Really
You
nice.
know? That they leave a lot of things vague and open, and that you hear bits and pieces, but the casting is what makes it great. Scrooge McDuck is David Tennant.
Okay, I can live with that. Yeah.
Okay, but then Huey, Dewey, and Louie are Abed from Community, Bobby Moynihan from SNL, and Jean Ralphio from Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
And those three just absolutely make it. It's great to see Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And they actually have characterization, and they actually have, they're not just three
Caballeros.
triplets. Yeah, but three different people with different attitudes, and it's really, really good. I really like the new DuckTales reboot. Maxwell mainly watches YouTube videos, but he also likes some cartoons. Uncle Grandpa, he watches that a lot.
Yeah.
And Teen Titans Go.
Do
I know
they?
you're not obsessed with them. I just said you really like them and you watch them a lot. I'm not saying you're obsessed with them. Maxwell and I watched a weird ass episode of Uncle Grandpa on Hulu, and it was about this kid, and he was making a home movie. You know, he was making a movie with his camcorder at his house, but then he was having a hard time with it, and it was difficult, and so he decided to quit. So then Uncle Grandpa showed up, and with his weird magic, he said, "Don't worry, we'll keep this film going. I have a friend who's going to direct this film for you." And it's fucking Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
Shows up into this garage to finish this little kid's film, and it was actually voiced by Robert Rodriguez, and it looks like him. He's got the like black hat and like the trench coat and shit. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Just to see Robert Rodriguez randomly appear in this fucking kid's cartoon. Eleanor likes animated movies based a lot. Inside Out, The Secret Life of Pets, she watches all the time, and she loves it. It's a really great movie as long as you get past the fact that it's Louis C.K. doing the star's voice. Once you get past that, everything else about this, it's a really good movie.
That would be so much harder to get past these days, though.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a really great movie, though. You just got to get past fucking Louis C.K. Everything else about this film is really, really good.
There was a time not very long ago where I would have said, "Oh, Louis C.K.," and that would have been a feature to the movie. That one of the voices is Louis C.K. Oh, he's funny. Okay, I would check that out. Now every time I'm hearing the voice, I'm just wondering if he is masturbating at the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. They're replacing him for the second film, and also the second film, one of the dogs in The Secret Life of Pets 2 will be voiced by Harrison Ford, and apparently this will be his first animated movie ever.
And that includes watching.
Yeah, probably. Just fucking Harrison Ford. So, but here's the thing. My parents never knew me.
No.
My parents never knew who I was, what I liked, what I was into. I was essentially a bit of a burden that kind of an accident. They fed me and they drove me places and they threw money at me and they tolerated me. Okay, I was a cat.
Yeah.
I was a human cat. I was the family's cat. My parents never knew who I was. They never knew what I was into. My parents didn't know what shows I liked growing up. They not even close, not a thing, never.
Yeah.
So as a child, ages 2 through 7, I liked things, I loved things, I watched these shows, but there's no way that my parents ever paid enough attention to me to care at all about what their crybaby afterthought accident youngest burdened son loved.
Yeah.
Becoming a parent really makes you realize all the ways your own parents fucked you over.
Well, no, see, because I haven't had kids, so I had to figure that out all by myself.
Yeah. It's expedited when you have your own children.
Yeah.
So I've had a hard time remembering all the shows that I loved as a child. I had a hard time with that. Then I found an Instagram account, and it's Saturday_morning cartoons, and it's an Instagram account that just shows old TV shows and old toy commercials and old movies from the 60s and 70s and 80s.
And that is what I would like to say. What I really liked about this particular playlist, it was like spending a Saturday morning with young little Reverend Steve.
Yeah. I there were a few toy commercials that I had. I had those little pens that look like they were sucking your blood. I had those pens.
Those were cool.
Yeah, I love those. So this Instagram account, Saturday_morning cartoons, were showing me all these commercials and all these toys and all these TV shows, and I used that account as a guide. And then it's like, oh, I remember that TV show. Okay, this is the name of the TV show. Okay, so I'm going to move to Instagram to YouTube, see if I can find an episode. There you go. So I would go to YouTube to find full episodes of the cartoon of what TV shows were available on there, and they almost all of them were. So I made a playlist, and so here we are. This is a playlist of shows that I watched as a child. I want to try and go through all the shows on the list, and I'll try not to take too long because I could easily be talking about these shows for like 2 hours.
Just let me know when I could do my brand new catchphrase.
When you could do your what?
My brand new catchphrase.
Oh, what's your brand new catchphrase?
Okay, wait a second. Gotta prepare. My hammer only swings for justice.
Nice.
Yes.
I thought we were just clearing your throat for a minute.
No, the clearing the throat thing was not the catchphrase, Emerald. But that was very funny.
You thought my catchphrase was random gagging?
Yeah. So the first video on the playlist is a TV show called The Great Space Coaster. I loved this fucking show as a child, but all I remembered was it was a show where a guy would show cartoons that were on cartridges that he shoved into a small TV. That's all I remembered from it. And I kept
it was
thinking,
a pretty messed up show.
Yeah, for the last couple of decades, I've been trying to remember what was that show I liked as a kid where someone would shove a cartridge into a device and show a cartoon. And I had no idea until this Instagram account reminded me, oh yeah, that show's called The Great Space Coaster. And there are people out there that fucking love it. They actually make fun of it in an episode of Family Guy.
See, now, against yours, to try to show that at least when it comes to this subject, our childhoods were very similar. Against the Great Space Coaster, whose theme song was very familiar to me for some reason. I don't know why, but I would definitely have to put
on the Great Space Coaster.
Yeah,
get on board. Yeah,
I would definitely have to put H.R. Puffin stuff against that.
The thing that was interesting about the Great Space Coaster was that. So the black dude has the tiny TV, and he would shove cartridges into the tiny TV, and then you'd get an episode of the show. You'd get a cartoon. Sometimes what they would do in that segment is sometimes they would show a short cartoon, and sometimes they would get an entire animated movie and cut it into pieces.
Really?
So in order to watch this entire animated movie or this entire 1 hour TV special, you would have to watch like 6 episodes of The Great Space Coaster to find out what happened. It was really weird. And also, I remember as a child watching this and going, man, look at that futuristic sci-fi device. He has this tiny little digital TV. He shoves a tiny cartridge into it, and you get a cartoon. Man, that'll never happen. I'll never have a tiny device of my own where I can pull up whatever I want. Sci-fi nonsense. In this specific random episode that I chose of The Great Space Coaster, in that part of the show, they showed the ending of some animated movie I don't remember.
I don't remember the animated. There was a lot of different animated things going on there.
Yeah.
I don't remember a partial movie.
Yeah, it was the ending of some Halloween animated movie where there were spooks and monsters and a witch lady who looked all weird and then like
Yeah.
a Frankenstein thing. It was really weird. And I vaguely remember it, but I couldn't tell you what the fuck it was. I loved this show as a child, but I was...
Scary Godmother?
That might be it. That might be it, Scary Godmother. I was shocked that this show was only a half hour.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that this was an hour-long show I was watching as a child. I was also shocked that it had modern music. Like they're playing like modern songs, and then they're setting up a circus while playing a Beatles song. That was weird. Another thing that I noticed it twice in this playlist: laugh tracks.
Laugh tracks, yes.
Hate laugh tracks. So that's the first one, The Great Space Coaster. The second video on here is some painfully cringeworthy shit. It's a horrible, horrible cartoon called The Get Along Gang.
Oh
But
God,
this-
yes, that was fucking horrible.
it's really bad. But this was my Dora the Explorer. This was my Blue's Clues. This was my everything. I had a doll of that weird Southern lawyer-sounding moose, and I would carry the doll around by my antlers wherever I went with my parents. I had that doll with me of whatever the moose's name was, the leader of the gang. And I loved the Get Along Gang, and I would watch it every morning, and I just absolutely loved them, and I would try and get toys and everything. And then one day, my mom and my older brother went to the store, and they came back and they said, "Hey, we accidentally bought this book, Steve. Here, you can keep it." And it was a book, a Get Along Gang book, and it was the story of the Crybaby. And it was this picture book all about one of the gang who would cry over everything. And they tried to teach her the lesson that you shouldn't cry so much.
That's always a great lesson to teach kids.
Well, it's a very early 80s lesson.
I remember your race story.
My what? Oh, yeah. So I was really pissed off because, like, oh, yeah, you accidentally bought this book. No, my mom and my older brother were at the store, and they saw a book about a crybaby, and they said, "Hey, we should get this for Stevie." And they did.
Yeah.
And so I was pissed, but instead of getting angry at my mom and my brother, I blamed the Get Along Gang. What I'm saying is we had a big breakup. The Get Along Gang.
And they're not without their guilt.
Yeah. But we broke up, and we broke up hard, the Get Along Gang and me. Now, the Mighty Thor, I fucked up. I tried putting this in because of the amazingly horrible animation and the horrible dialogue, but I accidentally put them in out of order. Not only that, but the ones that I put in were not the ones I was looking for. I was looking for a different story, but not the story that I ended up putting in there. Anyway, still, I was really into the Mighty Thor shitty animated cartoon from like the 1960s, because there was this big toy store when I was growing up, and it was called Lionel's Play World. It was basically Toys R Us before Toys R Us came around. But the thing I liked about Lionel's Play World is that it was basically the size of like a Kmart, except it was all toys. And there was one aisle where they would where it was nothing but Mego Marvel dolls.
Oh.
And cheap Marvel cartoon VHS tapes, and the cheap Marvel VHS tapes, they would have like 3 old Marvel cartoons on them, and they were so old that nobody wanted to buy them, so they would be $5 each. Now, asking like $30 for a video game was impossible. My parents weren't going to buy that. Asking $20 for a G.I. Joe playset, unheard of. Asking $5 for some cartoons from the 60s, that was more doable.
Yeah.
So I had like 12 different Marvel VHS tapes.
Nice.
And
because they always make me feel very nostalgic.
Yeah. So I'd end up watching the old Captain Americas and the old Mighty Thors and the old Avengers. And of course, each episode had one of those fucking Spider-Man episodes on it with the famous theme song.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I now would just watch those over and over and over again and dream of one day when they would ever make a movie. And knowing that they never would, and that's why I cried in the theater while watching Avengers.
Yeah.
Because it was a big circle of life sort of thing, me alone by myself, and my parents don't give a crap, and I'm just reading comic books and watching animated movies, dreaming of a day that I could be older and taking my kids to go see these fucking movies. So yeah, this Mighty Thor cartoon, they all sucked, but they were also wonderful.
Yeah. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed them even on the playlist. But good God, the animation is horrible.
Yeah. They basically just got actual comic book artwork and then struggled to animate them. That was one of the things.
Mostly just struggled to animate the lips.
Yeah, and then nothing else would ever move. So I like the fact that, wow, this is actually Jack Kirby artwork, but also, dude, this is really shit. This is really fucking crappy. Now, the next video on the playlist, it was really cool at the time.
It was kind of Scooby-Doo.
In the early 80s, it was the shit.
Shit?
Now it's just shit. It's a show called Kid Video. And it was a pretty sad attempt, in retrospect, to cash in on the popularity of MTV. It looked surprisingly anime looking. But it's an American band of young people that get stuck in a music video world, and each episode featured a few popular songs at the time and actual videos of these popular songs. In this specific episode, there was All Night Long and Running with the Night by Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie's been kidnapped! Oh no! They also showed Electric Avenue, and that's an actual place in this TV show. I remember the episode where they finally got to Electric Avenue. And at the end of the show, there would always be a live-action video from the band Kid Video and the Gang. I looked up Kid Video on Wikipedia, and apparently they released an album in the Middle East and toured Israel. Apparently they were huge there. So good for them. I loved the possibly Latino female drummer in this band. That was another one of my early crushes. Her catchphrase was "ay ay ay," which is pretty fucking racist.
Yeah.
God, I loved her. She, especially the opening scene, the opening credits of the TV show, where you saw her waking up and getting out of bed in a flimsy nightgown. From that point on, I fell in love with that character. And did you see the nerdy keyboard and guitar player? Did you see him?
The Cousin Oliver looking dude.
Yeah, it was Cousin Oliver. That's
it
fucking
was?
Robbie Wrist. Yeah, that was Cousin Oliver from the goddamn Brady Bunch.
What was his name again?
Robbie Wrist.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, like I didn't know him, obviously, who he was, obviously growing up, but then like watching these old kid video episodes now on YouTube. I'm like, that kind of looks like Cousin Oliver. I'm gonna look this shit up on Wikipedia. Holy shit, that was Cousin Oliver. So Robbie Rist now, he's older and he's got this huge David Letterman type beard, and he writes music and releases albums and posts music videos and songs on YouTube. And I did find one where he does a solo acoustic version of the theme song to Kid Video. It's pretty painful to watch a very old Robbie Rist doing the theme song to this shitty cartoon.
We should find out what he's doing now.
Yeah. I loved just the language that they use. I love just the look. I love everything about this show because it could not be more 1980s.
No, it really couldn't. I did pretty much enjoy this one, even though I don't remember as much of this one.
Oh, I just loved every little bit of it. It was so 80s. Like they meet the guy who's talking super fast, and then Kid Video, which is his name. The leader of the band is named Kid Video, which is fucking ridiculous. So Kid Video sees this guy speaking super fast, and he goes, "He certainly wasn't talking 33 and a third."
Oh.
I fucking love that because that's so 80s, and nobody would fucking understand that now. He certainly wasn't talking 33 and a third. Am I right, fellow teens? I love the outfits and the suspenders wearing keyboard player and the fairy who for some reason is dressed in 1980s workout chic. And then the cool lead singer Kid Video has a bandana around his knee for no reason. Calm your ass down, Johnny Depp.
Yeah. He was rocking the chachi.
Yeah. I also have a theory that the copycats, the bad guy copycats, they're wannabe musicians, but they have no talent, so they just copy the music of other famous people. I have a theory now that I'm older that was actually 1980s Republican propaganda against the scourge of tape copying.
Yes.
Oh, don't copy cassette tapes. That's illegal. Copying music. How dare you? Back in the day when that was bad.
Oh, God, yeah. It was almost as big as the Satanic Panic.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. So, the Great Space Coaster was pretty trippy. The Get Along Gang was shit. Mighty Thor was shit. Kid Video was bizarre. But
okay, I enjoyed them. You can call them shit. I enjoyed them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, occasionally, I had fucking great taste as a child.
Yeah.
Because the next video is the new adventures of Mighty Mouse.
Oh my God.
Yes, and against that for my era, I would have to put against that, well, Mighty Mouse.
How the hell was this on TV?
How the hell was it Ralph Bashki? I'm sorry, I was watching it and I was like, first off, I call him Bashki. I don't know why. I always did. Fuck what his real name is.
I hate Bakshi. I hate that so much. Yeah, I always called him Ralph Bashki.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bakshi sounds like you have to get up into a corner and like just rub your back and forth and kind of hope you find a nail, just to get that itch off of your back.
Apparently,
but I got fascinated because it was like, is that really Ralph? Is that going to be Ralph? Ralph, who I have personally always thought was overrated, and in fact, when I found out that it was Ralph Bashki who was doing these Mighty Mouse cartoons, I was like, oh, that's why the animation jitters from time to time.
Yeah, I couldn't
because he's
believe,
not that good.
That apparently in the 80s, CBS said, you know who we should give a children's show to? The creator of Fritz the fucking Cat.
Genius.
What a great idea.
But I loved the whole story because I looked it up. He he was sitting down and he was talking to CBS, and he was talking about possible shows that he could do. And he was like, they weren't buying anything that he was pitching. And he was like, I have the rights to Mighty Mouse. And they were like, Mighty Mouse? Let's do that shit. And he didn't have the rights for Mighty Mouse. So he tried to find out who had the rights to Mighty Mouse. And it turned out that who had the rights to Mighty Mouse was fucking CBS.
Yeah.
And they didn't know it. So if they don't know that that they have the rights, he might as well have the rights.
Yeah, so then CBS teamed him up with a young animator named John Crickfalusi, who ended up later doing Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
For Nickelodeon, and I loved Ren and Stimpy. And now John Kay is being accused of sexual harassment as part of the hashtag Me Too movement. And it's not surprising, because if you've seen any second of John Kay's animated style, you shouldn't be surprised that he's been accused of sexual harassment.
Yeah.
It's like, is John Kay guilty or is John Kay innocent? Well, just watch 5 seconds of The New Adventures of Mighty Mouse and you'll know in your heart what the answer is. This is some weird shit.
So the animation was better, coming off like Hercules and things like that. But yeah, there were quite a bit of spots in the cartoon where I noticed that there was just like a small jitter in the character. Did you see that?
No, I have not. But I'm assuming that.
Wait, say that again?
I can take her home.
I had noticed in a few spots during the Mighty Mouse cartoon that every now and then a character would give a small jitter.
Yeah.
That just looked completely wrong.
Her baby sister quiet.
I was like, that's Bashki.
Yeah.
One day he'll learn this shit. He I've been pissed off at him since Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Because I wanted a cartoon and he rotoscoped shit. That's not a fucking cartoon. Well, I should not be seeing Billy Barty. Okay? Yeah. I should not be seeing Billy Barty in a cartoon. He's a real person.
Yeah.
But no, most of these scenes you rotoscoped over people and then you just kind of washed it with color. That's not a motherfucking cartoon.
Yeah. But yeah, how the fuck did they give Ralph Bashki, the creator of Fritz the Cat, a kid's show? To quote Disney's Inside Out, who is in charge of programming down there?
Yeah.
But then again, the same network also gave a notorious drug addict a live kids TV show that I loved. More on that a little bit later.
Okay. Yes.
But I loved The New Adventures of Mighty Mouse, not just like the weird, bizarre style, but I just love the fact that like this is some odd shit. The bad guy wants to own all the left shoes in town.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Foreskin.
Yeah. Foreskins. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when the Polly purebred says you're mad, he's like, do you want to see me go mad? Here, I'll go mad. And next thing you know, he's in like a Dolly painting.
Yeah.
Like, I loved this as a child. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm watching, but it feels dirty.
Yeah. Yeah.
This all feels wrong.
They what I kind of liked and I found interesting is that they took Mighty Mouse, and Mighty Mouse, the original Mighty Mouse was goofy, but it seemed like it was goofy accidentally. Like that's not what they were going for.
Somebody,
but in this new one, they were definitely going for it. They were definitely going for how ridiculous this was, and here I come to save the day. They really like spent more time with those kinds of things than they did in the original cartoon. It was there, but it was like accidentally funny.
Yeah, like Mighty Mouse was a sort of generic hero Dudley Do-Right sort of a thing.
Yeah.
There's no need to fear, Polly Purebred.
Yeah.
That sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the next video on the list is Captain N, the Game Master. Now, I was older when this came out. I was 11 or 12, but even I knew what was good and what was bad, and I hated this, which is why I had to watch it constantly. This might have been one of the first things where it's like, oh, this is horrible. I love this. So it's 1989, and Nintendo has only been around for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So the animation studio Deke came around and said, "Hey Nintendo, hey, we want to take your characters and make crappy cartoons out of it. Yeah, we want to do really bad animation, and your characters, yeah, we're gonna shit on them." So Simon Belmont from Castlevania, we're gonna make him a fucking douchebag. We're gonna make Mega Man into an annoying piece of shit. And here's the best part. You know the bad guy from your game Metroid, Mother Brain? We're going to turn him into a gay transsexual nutball.
Yeah, that was okay. Now it finally dawned on me which cartoon this was because I wasn't placing it. Yeah, that was fucked up. That I was kind of getting into the Pink Floyd vibe of it. Which really, that sentence should not be uttered with a children's cartoon. You know, a children's cartoon should not have a Pink Floyd vibe.
Yeah. So yeah, Deke is like, hey, we want to do a cartoon featuring your characters, and then just really shit on them. And Nintendo said, well, we've been making video games for like 6 years, so I guess yes, because we don't know any better. So this show was on for like a couple of years, and the odd thing is that I picked like the first full episode of Captain N, the Game Master that I could find, and oh my god, number one, there were way too many ads on this cartoon.
Yeah.
On YouTube, and number two, they were all really weird ones. I kept getting these commercials about now you can send money directly to India fast. And I said, why are you giving me this commercial? I'm so confused. Eleanor, stop hitting Maxwell. Stop it. Bella, pay more attention to the baby hitting Maxwell with things. And there we go. So that was Captain N, the Game Master. The last one on the list is a real oddball and a real personal story for me. It was a show that ran for 2 years. 1 year of new episodes, and then for the second year they were in repeats. It was a show called Pryor's Place,
which I thought was really pretty awesome.
And I remembered the show, and I loved the show. As a child, I was in love with this show. More on that in a little bit. But I was shocked to see that this was a Sid and Marty Krofft show. They were doing shows in 1984?
I had no idea that this show even existed.
Yeah, like I was so excited to see Pryor's Place again because I was obsessed with this TV show and I couldn't wait to see it. But it threw me for a loop when it first came on and it said Sid and Marty Krofft presents, and I went, hold on a second.
Yeah.
They were doing shows in the mid 80s still? I thought that was like a 70s thing that then died at 70. But no, they did this show. That's where the weird puppets in the middle came from.
Yeah.
So Pryor's Place starred Richard Pryor, the man who at one point in time was so fucking high on drugs that he was shocked to find out that he was in the Muppet movie. I had somebody come up to me and he said, "Oh, I loved you in the Muppet movie." And that was the first I heard about it. Wait, I was in a movie with some Muppets. He was so high he had no idea that he appeared in this film. So the show there were puppets and a predominantly black cast,
Yeah.
and then eternally higher Richard Pryor would be talking directly to the cast, Dora the Explorer style.
Yeah. Who was that Carol Burnett woman? And did she ever become anything? Because she was kind of familiar.
I do not remember. I did not look that up.
I think she might have just looked familiar because she was trying to be Carol Burnett.
Yeah. And then every episode, Richard Pryor would pretend to be a different character. And then in each episode, they would have a different celebrity guest. One episode had a very young Robin Williams in it.
Yeah, okay.
And then,
that makes sense.
And then another episode had fucking, what's his name? Glass Eye.
Peter Falk.
No.
Glass Eye.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr., okay.
Was in an episode. Yeah.
He wasn't dead yet?
No, he wasn't dead yet. So Pryor's place was essentially a black Sesame Street. It definitely looked like it. The sets and everything had a very Sesame Street sort of vibe. But the difference between Sesame Street and Pryor's place, besides the predominantly black cast, was the fact that this episode was just about, a cousin and someone having a crush on the cousin. But oh my God, Bunny, some of these episodes tackled some serious fucking shit.
I thought the chili scene was kind of serious.
Yeah, but some of the episodes were about a kid finding out he was adopted, racism, bullying, some really serious freaking topics.
Yeah.
In fact, there was one episode of Pryor's Place growing up that moved me. And that became like that became something that I remembered for the rest of my life. And the young star of the show has this crush on this one girl in class, and he loves this girl, and he keeps trying to talk to this girl, but then he gets scared. And then the next day, I'll talk to her, and he goes to talk to her, but then he chickens out. Okay,
yeah.
Next day, definitely. And then he's going to go talk to her, but then he chickens out. And then finally, Richard Pryor, this time he was playing a homeless guy. He gives him some advice. It's like, you don't want to miss out on things just because you're frightened. You need to take that leap. And he's like, yes, you're right. I'm going to go and talk to her. And the next day he goes to school and learns, she moved. And then he never saw her again, and then he spends the rest of the episode depressed because he could have had a relationship with this woman if he just had the courage
to
ask, and now he will never see her again. And so Richard Pryor taught me to be honest with my feelings.
Well, that's good. I was surprised that this older woman turned out to be Tootie.
Yeah. No, she was already Tootie, because at the end of the episode, they said that, oh yes, my cousin Rita left and grew up to be very successful on her own television show.
Yes.
So I took that as meaning she was already Tootie. But watching Pryor's Place, let me tell you, watching this show, I was so fucking proud of myself.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah. Because I'm watching this show that I remember loving, and then here's Ray Parker Jr. from Ghostbusters singing a soulful R&B theme song, and then here are the two young black child stars, and I saw this episode and I went, wow, I wasn't racist. Good for young me.
Yeah.
Not being racist, because this is some serious, emotional sort of stuff. So growing up, I was in love with this show. In fact, as a child in in late 1984, early 1985, my family was chosen to be a Nielsen family.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So we were a Nielsen family. Back in the day, what they would do is a Nielsen man would come to your house and question everyone in your family and take detailed notes about what you said you watched. But then in the 80s, they started getting new technology, so they had these boxes that connected to your TV and would just
Yeah.
monitor every channel you had on. And so when we were chosen to be a Nielsen family, it was right in between. So they came into the house and they hooked up this big expensive box to our TV to record everything. And then a month later, someone came and took the box out and then sat down with us and interviewed us about what we watched. So we kind of got both things. And I remember this man sitting down, this guy in a suit and tie sitting down in front of me and asking me what I watched. And I said, oh, I watch a lot of cartoons. I like the Get Along Gang and I like Muppet Babies and I watch a lot of Sesame Street. And then the guy's like, okay, let me write this down. What show would you say is your favorite show? And I went, oh, Pryor's Place. I love Pryor's Place. It's a show and I love it. And Richard Pryor is really funny and he teaches me things and I love Pryor's Place. Please don't cancel Pryor's Place. And the guy laughed and said, I'll see what I can do. And then the next year they canceled it.
Oh.
And I was crushed. I cried when I learned they canceled Pryor's Place.
Are you
and
still
from that on, I have vowed revenge.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you still tracking them?
No, but last year for about 6 months, I was chosen to be a Nielsen family.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I actually made like I don't know, about $50 from them.
And this time you kept your mouth shut, right?
They asked what my favorite show was, and I debated whether or not I should put Lucha Underground on.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it is my favorite show, and I should show the Nielsen people in this survey that was sent to my home that this is a show that we watch, but also I've been burned by you before.
Yeah.
But I put Lucha Underground, and I made $50 out of the Nielsen people, so I think I won this time.
Yes, you did.
You know? Yeah.
Yes, you
and
certainly
that
did.
is, yeah, and that is it. Eleanor, let go, let go, let go. Eleanor, let go. Do not pull that. You're gonna pull the. Don't pull that. And that is it for homework this week. And I honestly and sincerely hope that your hearts, minds, and assholes have all been suitably opened. But don't think you're getting out of here that easily, Buck Chacho. Buck Chacho, a combination of bucko and muchacho. Verbal copyright 2018, Reverend Stephen the Pope on Film podcast. All rights reserved. Don't forget next week's homework. And for next week, we are going back to YouTube with another playlist. But I swear that this time it's going to be short. This time, Bunny and I will be learning about our bodies.
Oh. I saw
With
that
a
one. I saw the playlist there.
Yeah, it's a short playlist of 1950s, 60s, and 70s sex education videos. The ones where you're like in 7th grade, and so all the girls are going to go into one classroom and all the boys are going to meet in the gym.
Yeah.
And then we're going to play this video. Yeah, I've got 4 of those videos.
Awesome. I like public service announcements. Always did.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. The playlist is called TPOF and Your Body, and that is next week. So that is next week on the podcast. Be sure and check that out. Be sure and join us next week for more homework with the Pope on Film podcast. And cut on that. Guys, this isn't the I'm really upset about playing Lego Dimensions part of the podcast, okay? So just deep breaths, Squidward. Remember your karma. And now we would like to bring to you everyone's favorite segment of the Pope on Film. Once again, we'd like to turn it over to Bunny Williams for another edition of Grumpy Old Man. Take it away, Bunny.
If you want this ball back, you better tell me the 25th President of the United States.
President Ellis. It was President Ellis. That's the one that the Mandarin tried to kill.
You got lucky this time.
You'll never see me coming.
Well, let's see here. The computer is down, which is being a big pain in my balls. I got to figure out how to get an operating system on it, which means last week's show is not even cut yet because I don't have the computer, so I can't really check stats either. But since the computer was down, I did manage to put up, using the other computers around here, a kick-ass media server.
Cool.
So I have about 3 gigs of movies to load onto it.
Sweet.
And you navigate through it kind of like Netflix.
Yeah.
But all the stuff Netflix doesn't have anymore. The stuff I want to see.
Yeah.
So I can't really go over the stats because I can't be looking at my computer. So this is just going to have to be a short one for this one. And I will hopefully have my shit straightened out for the next episode.
Cool. Fine with that. Nothing wrong with short. Nothing wrong with short. You know, some of my favorite porn actresses are short.
Yeah, true.
Thank you for that, Bunny. Now, we still have Act 3 to get to. We're going to be, in the beginning of it, I've got a great discussion about sequels that I am so proud of, and Emerald helped me, and Natasha helped me come up with some sequels, and I am so excited for this intro. Some of them go too far, but that's the fun of it. We will be talking about God's Not Dead and God's Not Dead 2 and God's Not Dead 3, which apparently came out a few months ago.
And again, I've heard it's actually kind of good.
Really? God's Not Dead 3?
Yeah, because God's Not Dead 3 is the pastor that we have followed in the first and the second one with the black pastor that he makes sweep the floors and things like that. That guy, I would imagine if it's going to be a direct sequel, he's going to be in trouble still. Well, I don't want to give that away quite yet, but
yeah,
he gets very angry for the support that he does not get from his fellow Christians.
Yeah,
which is always what I like in a movie like this. I want to see terrible Christians and them getting called on being terrible Christians. That's a good Christian movie to me.
Yeah. Well, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about Christian porn. We will be talking about the freaking cast. We've got a lot to talk about, but before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
Okay, I agree. We should. We should. We will be right back with more of the Pop on Film after these commercial massages. Eleanor is trying to fit both of an entire fist in her mouth is what she's doing right now.
There we go.
You know, Maxwell, don't. You're going to get it stuck in there. Stop it. You're going to have to bite your hand off. Skiddy papa doo wow. And we're back with more of the Poop on Film. Act 3, people. This is the beginning of Act 3. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Bunny.
Yes.
Let's talk sequels.
Let's talk sequels. And it's very funny because just last night I watched 22 Jump Street. So I'm ready to talk some motherfucking sequels up in here.
Oh, God. 22 Jump Street is my favorite sequel.
Yes.
Because it's a sequel about sequels. That's what makes 22 Jump Street so great.
Uh-huh.
It's a sequel about sequels. And then they announced that they're working on 23 Jump Street, and then everyone said, what's 23 Jump Street going to be about? And then the makers of 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street said that the sequel montage at the end of 22 Jump Street is canon, and that will be all of the sequels from here on out.
That is awesome because I want to see a lot of those.
Yeah, so the next film will be Med School because that's what they said was going to be the third one. Whatever they said is what the next sequels will be. And so that's wonderful. But let's talk sequels. There are some good sequels out there, like 22 Jump Street, but they are few and far between.
Oh, yes.
For every culturally redefining Jurassic Park out there, there is a Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, ready to downright destroy the good faith of the first film.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good movies were ruined by sequels. Pitch Perfect was a low-budget and low-key, adorable, fun little a cappella comedy. Pitch Perfect 2 was an overblown piece of shit that had Flula Borg and very little else. Men in Black was original and unique. Men in Black 2 was Men in Black on repeat, and it sucked ass.
Yeah.
But then it went back around because Men in Black 3 has Thanos and Stefan in it, and it's pretty okay. Men in Black 3 is pretty good. It has to do with time travel, and it's pretty cute. And then, what's his name? Thanos. James Brolin does a young Tommy Lee Jones, and it's perfect. It is perfect.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
He does a perfect young Tommy Lee Jones. Kind of like when you first saw Austin Powers 2, and what's his name? Chris Traeger from Parks and Rec is doing a young number 2.
Yeah.
And he does perfectly. Yeah, that's Thanos in Men in Black 3. What were you going to say, Dana?
I have a lot of thoughts concerning Men in Black 3 because it's the only Men in Black movie where, what's his name? Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith have a lot of strange underlying sexual tension.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even in the first 2 movies, it was in this one, and I've talked to people about it, and they agree that there's maybe something going on between these two, at least in the third movie.
There's a lot of shitty sequels out there. It's important to note that there are a lot of shitty sequels out there. Steve takes a deep breath. Jaws 2, Carrie 2, Fletch Lives, Evan Almighty, Ocean's 12, Son of the Mask, Staying Alive, Dumb and Dumber 2, Speed 2, Exorcist 2, Highlander 2, Die Hard 2, The Hangover Part 2, The Hangover Part 3, The Crow City of Angels, Grease 2, Blues Brothers 2000, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix whatever the third one is. They even made an American Psycho 2 for shit's sake. Caddyshack 2? Boo!
Can we count an American Werewolf in Paris?
Yes. And I didn't even mention the Disney sequels.
Oh yeah.
Of which there are too many. They made 3 Cinderellas. Yeah, Mulan 2 sucks. Yeah. Then there are those sequels out there. There are those sequels out there that are less well known. There are a lot of sequels that they made that people don't know about. For example, there's the little known direct to DVD film Schindler's List 2: The Escape.
Yes.
That's where Schindler breaks all of his Jews out of Auschwitz with the help of John Rambo and his time-traveling friend, Sexy Jesus.
Sexy Jesus.
Then a very successful Western film got a very unsuccessful sequel, The Gooder, the Badder, and the Fugly. That was not as successful as the original.
But it had its charm. It did have its charm.
Yeah. Every bad movie has its defenders.
Yeah. Because let's face facts. That motherfucker was fugly.
Yeah. There's also the little scene Sidney Lumet film 12 Angry Men 2, 6 Unsatisfied Women. Emerald helped me write the end of that one. There's also this one's one of my favorites, the Prestige 2, Get Prestigier. As well as this one took the first film, which was a bit of a downer, and then took it in a different direction. Sophie's Choice 2, Sophie's Fantastic Island Adventure.
That sounds sweet. That just sounds so sweet.
Because
And
the first one
innocent.
was about a woman and her 2 kids, and the Nazis make her choose which one will live and which one will die. And people thought that was a real big downer. So in the second one, they gave her a talking dog and a fantastic island adventure. It was a lot like any Barbie animated film.
Hey, that broad's got her own series now.
That's your time.
Yeah. Then there are some famous directors who made some sequels. Alfred Hitchcock shocked the world by making the sequel Front Window.
Front Window. Yes.
Yeah, this time the action moves from the rear to the front of the house. And the reviews were unanimous. How many bones can Jimmy Stewart break, for shit's sake? Oh no, I broke my other leg. Went like that.
Which they already did in the first movie. So how is he going to move to a front apartment?
Yeah. So then there's Quentin Tarantino. Of course, he did Kill Bill 1 and then Kill Bill 2. But let's not forget Quentin Tarantino's not as popular first sequel, Sewer Cats.
Sewer Cats.
Yes. You know what that's the sequel to?
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And then of course they're still cranking out some sequels. My favorite one of recent memory is La La Land 2, The Revenge of Jazz. That's where a bunch of black people beat up What's-His-Nuts for taking jazz away from black people.
Yeah.
And that was going to set up...
damn fucking time, too.
Yeah. Ryan Gosling, that's his name. And that was going to set up for the third film, La La Land 3, Race War. but the second one wasn't as successful, so they dropped it. And let's not forget another recent sequel, 12 More Years a Slave. Now listen here, Solomon. We have you for 12 more years, see? You signed this contract. Don't! I guess I'll have to be 12 more years a slave.
Even the Academy was pissed off at that one.
Yeah. And scene. If you are offended by that, Emerald wrote it. Titanic 2, Jack is Back. That's a good one. Oh, and let's not forget, I have one more sequel. Hachi 2, A Dog's Revenge. Okay, now I'm done with sequels.
Okay.
Nope, I've got a few more. Dog Day Evening, Annie's Staircase, 12 More Monkeys, Outception, and It Happened One Night Again. Just to be clear, Annie's Staircase is the sequel to Annie Hall.
Oh, okay, good.
I want to be clear about that. I really like Outception.
I like Outception, definitely.
The opposite of Inception. See, this week's movie sucks so bad, so I thought that making fun of sequels is just more fun than doing this week's actual craptastic crap burger, which of course is the 2016 Christian shit sandwich, God's Not Dead 2.
Not deadier.
Yeah, this won't be that long. This movie is shit.
Yeah.
So Bunny,
Uh-huh.
let's travel back in time. All the way back to the Pope on Film, episode 26.
Can you believe we did that one that early on?
That early on. Yeah. We're near episode 200, and when we did the first God's Not Dead, it was episode 26.
Yeah.
That is our 8th most listened to full episode on SoundCloud. And I think the reason why it's so popular, I think it's because people are going on SoundCloud and whatever, and they're saying, the Pope on Film presents God's Not Dead. Well, this sure sounds like it's going to be a good Christian review of God's Not Dead. Let me click on this and, oh no!
They were wrong.
So I imagine we're upsetting. I imagine we're really upsetting people. This is a good episode. I believe episode 26 may have had our first ever list.
Really? Okay, that would be yeah. We need a fan that will catalog our episodes.
We do. I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
That was a list of enemies in God's Not Dead. It was. I like to think that the God's Not Dead episode was one of the first examples of our podcast transitioning into the extra large modern day Marvel that this podcast now is.
Yes.
This was the first time that it's like, okay, I've got a few pages of notes. So it's a good early episode. So what happened was the story of all of this. What happened was in 2014, a small-time faith-driven film studio decided to basically remake the shitty drama Crash.
Yeah.
But with a badly written biblical perspective. It was called God's Not Dead, and it cost only $2 million to make.
Quit rocking in the chair.
That's not bad, because a lot of that went to Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with emaciated Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah.
But it's important to note that God's Not Dead came out in 2014. Obama administration's 2014. So at that time, conservative evangelical Christians, cough, cough, white people, were convinced that the evil black president, who may have been a foreign terrorist and certainly loves to help out terrorists and might be the Antichrist and is definitely going to take our guns. The evil black president was just seconds away from killing all Christians. So when God's Not Dead came out, the Christian world rallied around the frickin' film.
Okay, is it all right?
Christian people watched that movie 2 times, 3 times, 5 times. Whole churches would bus people in. They would bus in their entire freaking congregation to go see this movie, and then they'd see it a number of times.
We're just going home. I got home and you were there.
Christians saw this God's Not Dead as a statement.
Mm-hmm.
So this $2 million film, again, that was made for only $2 million, made almost $65 million at the box office.
Wow.
That is a huge freaking hit. So, of course, they immediately started in on a sequel, and that's this week's movie, God's Not Dead 2. This time they went big. The budget for God's Not Dead 2 is $5 million. That is over twice the budget of the first film.
I know for the opening, somebody got a really cool drone.
Yeah. So the budget was over twice the budget of the first film, but the box office for God's Not Dead 2 was less than half the box office of the first film. God's Not Dead 2 only made $24.5 million in the box office, and it has a tomato meter score of 8%. So it did bad. It was very bad. That's quite a fall from the massive success of the first film. In fact, when they went for the threequel, when they went for the third film, God's Not Dead 3, A Light in the Darkness, the studio got rid of the director of the first two and got rid of the screenwriters and decided to take the entire series in a new direction. So the third film is a bit more inclusive. The first two films are basically telling Christians what they want to hear. Hey, Christians, foreigners are bad.
Yeah.
All non-Christians are bad. People who are liberals are all evil, and everyone is out to get you. But you'll win in the end because Jesus. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're also persecuted, but we will all win at the end because we have the Bible, and our Bible is the only good Bible, and all other religions suck. And now,
And good lord, did this movie ever just fucking wallow in it? You know, like there were no normal people in this movie except for Christians. Everybody, every non-Christian in the movie, except for our hero, were downright horrible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The thing that pissed me off so much is that I saw God's Not Dead for this podcast over 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I saw the first God's Not Dead over 3 years ago, and yet, watching God's Not Dead 2, I was able to say, hey, that's the liberal blogger who attacked the cast of Duck Dynasty and then got cancer.
Yes.
How the fuck do I remember that from God's Not Dead? That is horrible that I'm remembering characters, you know?
Ready?
Hey, that's the Asian who went to Jesus in the first film. Oh, now his dad hates him.
Yeah.
Arches. Thank God the Newsboys were in this, because if they weren't going to be in this, I was going to have a fucking riot.
You had mentioned that, and I was glad to see the Newsboys as well.
And also in like the first 5 minutes.
In that way that you did not have to commit a felony. That, you know, other than that, I really was not exactly glad to see the Newsboys per se.
Yeah, I would have set this entire state on fire. If the Newsboys weren't in this. So thank God they were. So when they made God's Not Dead 3, they went in a new direction and a more friendly direction and a more modern liberal direction. They got rid of the persecution complex of God's Not Dead and God's Not Dead 2. So the third one is basically, the entire third one is basically about how the church is in the people and not the building.
Yes.
The church isn't an institution. The church is the people gathering together, and everyone is welcome, and yada yada yada. It tried to reach out to a wider audience, and oh man, did it work?
Did it?
No, I'm kidding. It only made $5 million at the box office.
Yeah, I thought it sucked.
Which effectively, that's small of a box office. It only made $5 million. It did so bad that it effectively destroyed the God's Not Dead series. So just to be clear, let me repeat that. God's Not Dead is dead.
Well, you're not going to be pulling out the buses and all of that for a sequel, you know? You're not going to get all of your church members together and get them in a caravan for a sequel. This is for big events. This is for your Passions of the Christ and stuff. And the first God's Not Dead, because that was kind of an event, you know? Not for a fucking sequel.
Yeah.
You don't go on a school field trip to see Superman 2.
No, you do not.
No.
Maybe Superman 3, because Superman 3 had Richard Pryor. And he was Richard Pryor, as everyone knows from the show Pryor's Place. So you're just making her cry right in front of the podcast? Was that your plan? Was that your plan? Like, oh, Daddy's recording the podcast. I'm going to make the baby cry. And then do nothing about it. You're like, hey, hey, Eleanor, can you cry closer to the microphone, please? Don't whip and nay on my podcast, bitch. Fuck is wrong with you?
Whip and nay?
She's whipping and nay-naying.
Okay.
On my podcast. I know you can't see her whip and or nay-nay, but the simple fact that she's doing it is just disgusting. So, God's Not Dead 2. God's Not Dead 2 actually has 3 different titles.
Did you get to the one that I wrote?
Yeah. I told everybody what I said I was going to say. God's Not Dead 2 actually had 3 different titles. The first title is God's Not Dead 2. The second title is Ray Wise, No! That's the second title.
Yeah.
And then the third title is, shit, they got the Black Ghostbuster? That's sad.
Yes, it is.
Those are the 3 titles of this film. Now, in order to fully...
Ice pop?
Oh, God. The last time I saw her with her ice pop, she was almost done. So just to be clear. Oh, God. Then I don't know.
Eleanor, where's your ice pop, baby?
Now, in order to fully describe God's Not Dead 2, I need to talk to you about porn.
Okay, good. Because really, talking about this movie itself, kind of putting me to sleep. I'm just remembering I'm reliving like a post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm sort of reliving the boredom.
Yeah.
That I felt when I was watching it.
Post-traumatic Christian movie disorder.
Yes.
Yeah, my favorite part is when the little boy said, "I wish my dad would come back from the war. Dear God, can you please kill a shit ton of Japanese people?"
Yeah.
So that my child could come home, and then Glenn Beck got a boner.
Yeah, totally.
And that was this movie. So let's talk about porn. Porn is about fantasy.
Yes.
Porn is about giving you, the viewer, the fantasy that you want, whether it's, I don't know, cheerleader or step family or
mom teaches daughter.
Yeah, MILF, midget, clown, Batman versus Superman,
fairy princess.
Yeah. So that's what porn is about. So God's Not Dead is Christian porn.
Yes.
God's Not Dead is we're society outside of the church. We're all wicked and evil. Oh, I wonder if someone's going to save us with the Bible. Oh, we're the school. We don't like Jesus. And there's no way anyone's going to teach us a lesson.
I mean, this movie,
God's Not Dead, and God's Not Dead 2 is Christian porn because it's just giving Christians what they want to see.
All the world outside is evil except for them and their little cult. They're the only ones who have the truth, and all of that. But like, I really did not think that they could possibly get more loathsome and more just hideous than God's Not Dead 1, but damn it, they did. They really did.
Yeah. So Sabrina, the getting old quick witch.
Yeah.
She used to be Sabrina, the teenage witch. Now she's Sabrina, the bags under her eyes witch. plays a teacher who is sent to court because of an evil school that refuses the word of God and the evil law and the evil court system, and God is dead. We don't believe in God. And so this is Christian pornography because it allows Christians to see what they want to see. Oh, Christianity is persecuted. And we're going to beat those dirty liberals because if you're a liberal, you're bad. And yeah.
No.
It's just what? I didn't know that.
Well,
How was I supposed to know that? You didn't tell me.
People's stuff anyway.
I didn't think she. I don't think she
did take a drink.
Okay. Thanks for making a legal record of this. I didn't know. I didn't know. How was I supposed to know? Yeah, because it's on the podcast.
Because they heard me say that.
They probably did.
Nah, I didn't say it loud enough. I kind of yelled it. That she shouldn't take a drink of my drink? Of the rum. I didn't say. Say it again, Destiny, a little bit louder.
Sorry.
People in the back.
Say it a bit louder. I didn't think Bella heard you. I was thought that was a quote from Ed Wood. I wasn't talking about
great,
you, Bella.
but I did hear it. Bunny, did you hear it?
No.
All claims right now.
No, it's mine.
Yeah.
This isn't the real world. Look around, Eddie. You've surrounded yourself with a bunch of weirdos. Say it a bit louder. I don't think Bella heard you.
We were just discussing God's not dead, so I don't think I can be responsible for answering any kind of serious question right now, Bella. So, I did my best. I heard somebody say no, so I said no. That's just how this is going to go now.
Okay.
Because Christian movies rot your fucking brains out. What?
Okay.
I was saying no to the baby.
Yeah, Natasha
Sorry,
was
buddy.
saying no to the baby.
Oh.
At just a perfect time because Bella said, "Did you hear that, Bunny?" And then Natasha said, "No!" Still talking to the baby, not to you, just to be clear.
Yeah, it was one of those, what do you got? A knife! No!
Yeah.
Situations.
So this film is porn. It's just all porn. It's Christian porn.
Oh, yeah, it definitely, especially since, just like with the first God's Not Dead, this scenario that they lay out is not something that would happen.
Yeah, and I also want to touch upon that. This film is also science fiction.
Yeah.
Because there is no way that Arkansas would be so upset about this.
No way.
This all happens in fucking Arkansas. There's no way an Arkansas jury would be a white teacher teaching Jesus in school? We must punish her. That's not how. It's not fucking Arkansas. So this is a science fiction film. It's also sci-fi because there's no way that the angry atheists would be screaming and yelling at the quiet, peace-loving Christians.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It would be the other way around. So this is like a bizarro universe,
Very, very much so.
The atheists are the ones yelling and screaming, and the Christians are going, "Why do they keep hurting us?"
Yeah.
We just want to spread the word of Jesus. We're so victims. So, Bunny, there's one last thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens here.
Okay.
I am excited to see what your answer is.
All right.
Because I'm going to assume no. I'm going to, right now, without even asking this question, I'm going to assume that the answer is no.
All right.
But let's see what happens here. Bunny.
Yes.
Did you see the shocking after credit sequence?
I believe I did. I can't think of what the fuck it is now. Hold on a second. I did because I found it really fucking humorous that it had an after credits segment. It was the pastor who was being served for not turning in his paperwork.
Okay, yeah, it was the pastor going to jail. I wasn't sure if you had seen the after credit sequence because I accidentally stumbled on it because I have to get to the absolute end of every movie now. Thank you, Marvel. but I just kind of sort of assumed that this movie was so fucking bad that once you got to the end, you would just immediately turn it off.
Yeah.
That you would just be like, it's over, fuck you. I was going to text you just like the movie told me to.
Yeah.
I was
You
going to
should've.
text you, God's not dead, he's whatever.
Well, to be fair, I didn't watch very much of this movie. I listened to all of it.
Yeah.
And I would go and watch it when the music was telling me there was something for me to be looking at.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just prattle in different locations. You know, so I don't care. I can hear the prattle. I don't need to see the location.
But yeah. This is not a good movie.
This is not a good movie. Let's bury this motherfucker.
Yeah. So that's all I have for God's Not Dead 2. It's shit. But, you know, what was I expecting?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so here's to hoping. Hold on, let me do some math. I'm looking forward to God's Not Dead 2, which we will no doubt cover on episode 250.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So be sure and look out for the Pope on Film episode 250. God's Not Dead 3, A Light in the Darkness.
Yeah.
You guys don't do that on episode 250? I'm not.
What's that?
Okay. Good note. So that's it for this episode. Next week is going to be a very exciting episode. First off, Bunny and I will be learning about our bodies.
Yes.
Which is very exciting to me. I'm hoping to figure out what my testicles are.
I have books that are due back on Monday, and there will be nobody open to send them out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're going to be learning about one of the richest men in the world and how he got his money from a popular sitcom and a heavy metal band. We're going to be talking some more about Carmen.
Yeah.
We've got another episode of the Pope on Film presents classic movie monologues.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking about some huge news next week. Some breaking news next week. Oh my God, this is going to be huge news. We're going to be talking about that next week. So
next week? I thought we were talking about it at the end.
No, you and I will be talking about this at the wrap up, after we have cut. We're going to discuss this, okay? Because I need to talk this over with you first before we talk about it on the air.
Okay, good.
I literally just learned this, so I need some time to write out some shit before we actually talk about it.
Okay.
But, we'll be talking about that at the end, literally afterwards. But next week, we are starting a big undertaking here on the podcast. Starting next week, we are doing a whole summer of episodes.
Yes.
And I've come up with a really catchy title for what we will be doing. This is the official title of what we will be doing. I'm calling it 2018, the Summer of Star Wars. Every Star Wars movie reviewed by the Pope on Film podcast, but maybe not that weird Clone Wars animated movie that came out in theaters because yawn, but every other Star Wars movie, probably the series.
Yes. That sounds like fun.
That's the official title.
But we're starting with A New Hope?
No, yes. A New Hope, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
So release order, Phantom Menace.
Release order.
Attack of the
release
Clones.
order. So we'll be doing the original trilogy, and then we'll be doing the prequels, and then we'll be doing the new ones, and then we'll be doing the first new one, Rogue One, the second new one, Solo.
Yeah.
And we're this is going to take a while. So,
Okay.
and then maybe the Clone Wars animated movie, which I've never bothered to see, but I find it interesting that it's rated PG because of some smoking.
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with reading the tiny little box of the ratings because it would tell you exactly why it's rated. So the Clone Wars animated movie was rated, I think, PG or PG-13 for science fiction, thrilling violence, and some smoking.
Yes, I had seen one like
That was
that.
interesting. Anakin, we must defeat the evil clone army, but first, a Chesterfield. This cigarette really hits me in my T-zone. That's T for taste and T for throat, Anakin. That's why 9 out of 10 doctors prefer Chesterfield brand cigarettes. Now on to the sci-fi action violence. So that's what we're doing next week, starting with Star Wars. Do you need me to coffee you a copy? Because I do have a copy that I can coffee you if you need it.
I
also
don't think so. I'm sure it's all here somewhere.
Okay, cool. That's next week.
Awesome.
So, yeah, no, I'm kind of excited for the summer of Star Wars. You know,
I'm
And
excited
also-
too. I'm excited to be doing something like this. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I'm also excited because I'm gonna try and get my kids to watch these with me. You know,
Yeah.
These are classics, and watching them in order. This will
Proper
be
order.
proper order.
Not this episode 1 bullshit.
Yeah. So I'm excited to be doing the season of Star Wars, the summer of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an exciting beginning next week. But now that I'm looking back at this week, this whole episode, I gotta say, looking back at everything now, I think that this has been a pretty good episode.
This has been a damn good episode.
You said damn. That means it was really good. Yeah. I concur.
So until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve, and on behalf of Natasha, Sick Deanna, Bella, Emerald, Eleanor, Maxwell, and everybody else, I just want to say thanks for listening, and we will see you next week, you godless heathens.
And you douche waffles and poopy toots. Ow.
Do 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 skiddy bop doo wow. Cut and print.
Cut and print.
Luke Skywalker and Han Solo rescued the princess, destroyed the Death Star, but their story didn't end there. Now, the creators of the biggest smash hit of all time bring you the next episode in the Star Wars saga, The Empire Strikes Back. The continuing story of our band of heroes: Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Chewbacca. And introducing Lando Calrissian. It's an epic of romance. Of heroes and villains. They cross trackless voids to unknown worlds. A galactic odyssey against oppression. A big, new, sprawling space adventure in the Star Wars saga, The Empire Strikes Back. Coming to your galaxy next summer.